Hello there. Hope you're well. Right. We're going to talk about when you've actually achieved everything that you've ever wanted and you still feel as if there's a gap. Somebody came to me yesterday, funnily enough, in church, and they described it as feeling blocked. They were like, I've got a job, I'm busy, life is good, the children are great, the husband's fine, and yet there's something missing. And it was just a reminder of why I created an audience with the African Oracle. So here's the thing, and so it's like if you're sat there thinking to yourself, I've got everything, work's going well, or it's going as well as it possibly can be, relationships are going okay, life is just plodding along, and then you think to yourself, do you know what, something's missing? Then this event is for you. I created an audience with an African oracle, The African oracle being myself, anointed underneath the mountains of Africa. And if we haven't met, my name is Victoria Dioh. So one of the things that I do is I sell clarity. I make sure that you've got clarity so that you can fall in love with your life again. A lot of the time, when you've invested heavily in your life, it's very easy that you invest heavily in your life, in your profession, to the point where you sacrifice personal fulfillment for professional success. And what that does then is it starts to feel as if there's this gap in your life that you can't understand why. And normally when people come to me, I say one thing, well, I say a phrase, which is, it's because you don't know why you're here. I always lean back to the chair that I'm sat on. If this chair was a car, it would always feel unfulfilled. If this chair was a table, or if it was used for anything other than sitting down on, it would feel unfulfilled because it's not doing what it was put on this earth to do. Everybody's designed to have a purpose. When you're born, you are given your purpose, you're given your breath, you're given your intuition. However, society is designed to rob you of those things. So what tends to happen is that you lose the use of your intuition, you lose the use or the search for your purpose, and even your breathing becomes more shallow. Why more shallow? Because you're always scared. There's always stuff, there's always media content that's designed to make you feel nervous. So if you switch on the news now, you'll find that it's news that makes you shake your head, get worried, maybe do some more research, because it's never positive news. And if it is, the way it's dished out to you, it's dished out in a way where you'll always remember the negative press rather than the positive press. So you're being distracted away from your purpose. And I'll tell you why. It is well known that when you're within your purpose, you are your most powerful. I'll say that again. When you are in your purpose, you are your most powerful. However, I'm going to say this. It does not mean that is a shortcut to perfection. No, because you still have to go through your journey. However, when you're in your purpose, you've got more clarity, you've got more alignment, as opposed to just dancing around. So for the past 2 years, I've been hosting events called Clarity, Alignment, and Purpose, where people would get their purpose online, and then, they would work with me in some other format. I've decided to bring all of that into one room on one day. And I'm going to tell you what you get. It's like, first and foremost, you're going to leave with so much clarity and confidence. You're not going to recognize yourself. Everybody that comes to me and actually says, oh, do you know what? And stuff, it's like, I feel amazing. Now I know where I'm going. It's because they know exactly why they're here, and they start to the root of embodying their purpose. You're going to be able to have access to me and be able to ask any questions. One of the things that I always say to people coming on this particular initiative is make sure you write down all the questions that you're scared of asking. Why do I say that? Because we are designed as leaders to hide our feelings. We're designed to put on a brave face and just get on with it. And I know how you feel, because I was there in that exact same space where I wouldn't share my vulnerability. You want to ask the questions that you're scared to ask so that you can get the freedom to be able to move forward in your life. I'm also going to design the food that you eat. So I'm going to intuitively design the food that you eat. I normally do this only at retreats. It's been a while since I've done a retreat, but it is an incredible gift. So I'm going to sort of like navigate your food and have it prepared. I'm hoping that I can do the cooking, but even if not, I'm going to make sure that I work very closely with somebody who will take my recipes and design it so that it is exactly what you need at that particular moment in time. You are going to have tailor-made meditations. We're literally going to go through a detailed program in a whole day. And then here's the bonus. Anybody who books onto this by mid next month, so mid-September, so you've got 4 weeks to play around with this, you will receive an extra 6 weeks to spend the time with me. What does that mean? So once you've actually got your purpose, we've spent the whole day together, you're going to be invited onto the 6-week experience, the clarity, alignment, and purpose experience, where you will embody your purpose even more, and where I'll be able to provide guidance and accountability to help you to really implement your purpose in your life. There's so much more that's available on this particular day. But if you want to know more, just drop me a message. You can drop me a message in my DMs and stuff, and I'll get back to you. But it is going to be phenomenal. Now, if you know anyone who you think, do you know what, this would really work for them, then by all means, please, connect us. I'd love to have a conversation. But until then, all you need to do is drop me a DM and I'll get you booked on. And also, just so you know, there are payment plans. It's taking place on the 6th of November. And if you want to know more about the payment plans and any other arrangements, then drop me a DM and we can have a conversation. Until then, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.